What if I told you that the same $2 powder sitting in hardware stores right now kills cockroaches more effectively than a $300 pest control visit? Pest companies know about it. Exterminators use it themselves at home. And they are praying you never find out. Today I am exposing the one powder that ends your cockroach problem permanently. No chemicals, no subscriptions, no calling anyone. And before you think this is just another home remedy tip, it is not. This is a professionally tested, EPA-approved method that has been used by exterminators for decades. They just never told you about it because there is no money in a one-time fix. In this video, I am going to show you exactly how this powder works, why every other method you have tried has failed, the mistakes most people make that stop it from working, and the exact step-by-step method to apply it correctly so it works the first time. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never need a pest company again. Cockroaches are one of the most stubborn pests on the planet. They survive nuclear radiation. They can go a month without food. And the moment you think they are gone, they are not. But here is what most people do not know about them. Cockroaches have been on this earth for over 300 million years. They existed before the dinosaurs. And in all that time, they have evolved into one of the most difficult creatures to kill. If you cut a cockroach's head off, it can still survive for several days because it breathes through its skin, not its mouth. That is the kind of creature you are dealing with. And when you spot one cockroach in your home, understand it is never alone. Research shows that for every single cockroach you can see, there are 20 to 30 more hiding somewhere you cannot. Inside your walls, behind your fridge, deep inside your cabinets, near your drain pipes. You are never dealing with one roach, you are dealing with a colony. And the problem is not just that they are unpleasant to look at. Cockroaches carry 33 types of bacteria, including E. coli and Salmonella. They are directly linked to typhoid, dysentery, and food poisoning. Their shed skin and droppings trigger asthma and allergies, especially in children. This is not a comfort issue. This is a serious health issue for every single person living in your home. Most people try sprays. They work for a few days. Then the roaches come back, sometimes worse than before. Why? Because sprays only kill on contact. They do not touch the nest. They do not touch the eggs. So you spray, they hide, they come back, you call the pest company, they charge you $50, $100, $200, and guess what? You are calling them again in 3 months. It is a cycle, and it is designed to keep you paying. Here is why sprays fail on a deeper level. Cockroaches develop resistance to chemical compounds over time. The spray that worked 5 years ago has less and less effect on today's generation of roaches because they have biologically adapted to survive it. You are not just fighting the same pest, you are fighting a pest that has already started evolving around your solution. And pest control companies, let me be straightforward here, their business model is built on recurring revenue. Solving your problem permanently in a single visit is not profitable for them. They need you to call back in 3 months. So the treatments they use are designed to give you temporary relief, just long enough for you to feel satisfied, but not long enough to actually eliminate the problem. Think about that. And when a permanent solution costs less than $2, why would they ever tell you about it? But here is what they do not want you to know. There is a naturally occurring mineral powder called boric acid, sometimes sold as borax, and it costs almost nothing. You can find it at any hardware store, pharmacy, or online for under $2. And when applied correctly, it wipes out entire cockroach colonies. Not just the ones you see, the ones hiding in your walls, under your fridge, inside your cabinets. Here is why it works so well, and this part is important. Boric acid is not a new discovery. It is not a trend. It has been used by professional exterminators for decades. The reason most people have never heard of it in this context is simple. There is no one with a financial incentive to tell you about it. Pest companies will not advertise it. Spray manufacturers will not mention it. It is a one-time purchase with a permanent result, and that kind of product does not build a business. But it absolutely solves your problem. Boric acid is a fine powder. When a cockroach walks through it, the powder sticks to their legs and body. They cannot feel it. They do not avoid it. When they go back to groom themselves, the way insects naturally do, they ingest it, and it destroys their digestive system and nervous system from the inside. But here is the part that makes it truly devastating, and this is what separates it from every other method out there. Cockroaches practice something called coprophagy. That means they consume each other's droppings as a completely natural part of their behavior. So one exposed roach goes back to the nest, goes about its normal activity, and poisons the entire colony. It is a chain reaction that starts with a single point of contact and spreads through the whole population on its own. No spray can do that. No trap can do that. One powder. Whole colony. Gone. This is why boric acid is in a completely different category from everything else you have tried. Sprays hit the surface. Boric acid infiltrates the colony from within. It uses the cockroach's own biology against itself, and there is nothing the roach can do to detect it, avoid it, or resist it. Now, most people apply this wrong and then say it does not work. So let me walk you through the exact mistakes that kill the results before they even start. The most common mistake is applying too much powder. People think more powder means more effectiveness, and it is the complete opposite. If you put down a thick, visible pile of boric acid, cockroaches will see it and walk around it. The application needs to be so thin it is barely visible to the naked eye, almost like a ghost of powder on the surface. That is the correct amount. If you can clearly see it, you have used too much. The second mistake is applying it in the wrong spots. People spread it in the middle of the room or on open floor space. Cockroaches do not travel through open areas. They move along walls, through corners, and inside dark enclosed spaces. If the powder is not exactly where the roach actually walks, it will never make contact, and nothing will happen. The third mistake is applying it near moisture. Boric acid loses its effectiveness completely when it gets wet. It clumps together and stops working. Every single application needs to be on a completely dry surface. Avoid placing it directly next to water sources. Focus on the dry zones nearby instead. The fourth mistake is giving up too early. Boric acid is not instant like a spray. It works over 3 to 7 days, and in the first couple of days you might actually see more roaches than usual, and that is a good sign. It means they are moving through your treated areas. Do not panic. Do not wipe it away. Let it work. The fifth mistake is skipping the second application. One treatment handles the active population very well, but cockroach eggs are not directly affected by the powder. 2 weeks after your first application, do a second round. This catches the newly hatched generation before they have a chance to multiply, and that is what makes the elimination complete and permanent. Now let me show you exactly how to do this step by step, because the application is everything. Step 1 is finding the right spots. Cockroaches travel along edges and corners, under the sink around the pipes, behind the fridge and underneath it, the gap between your cabinets and the wall, behind the stove, in the bathroom behind the toilet, under the wash basin, and around where pipes come through the wall. These are the highways cockroaches use every night, and this is exactly where the powder needs to be. Step 2 is applying a thin layer, and this is the most critical step. Do not dump a pile of powder. Take a small dry brush, a cheap paintbrush works perfectly, dip it lightly into the powder, and brush a barely visible layer onto the surface. Or fold the packet to make a small opening and gently tap it so a very fine amount settles on the surface. Either way, the goal is the same. Barely visible is perfect. Clearly visible is too much. Step 3 is keeping it dry. Boric acid loses all its effectiveness when it gets wet. Apply it only on dry surfaces and avoid areas with direct water contact. Dry zones near moisture sources, like the sides of the cabinet under the sink, are perfect. The wet floor directly around the drain is not. Step 4 is being patient. This is not instant like a spray. Give it 3 to 7 days. You might actually see more roaches at first. That is a good sign. It means they are moving through the treated areas. Stay the course. Step 5 is reapplying after 2 weeks. One application handles the active population. The second round, 2 weeks later, catches the newly hatched eggs. Together, these 2 applications give you a complete and permanent result. That is it. 5 steps. Under $2. Done. This method is not new. It has been used by professional exterminators for decades. The U.S. EPA has classified boric acid as low toxicity to humans and pets. When used correctly, it is significantly safer than the chemical sprays pest companies use inside your home. And one practical note, if you have pets that spend time on the floor, apply the powder in spots that are out of their reach, like inside cabinets and behind appliances. That is simply the best practice. Pest companies do not advertise this because there is no money in a one-time fix. Their business model requires you to have a recurring problem. They need the roaches to come back. And as long as you keep calling them, they have no reason to ever hand you a permanent solution. Think about that the next time they hand you an invoice. Let me walk you through what this actually looks like so you know exactly what to expect. Say you have a cockroach problem in your kitchen. You turn on the light at night, and 3 or 4 roaches scatter near the sink. You go to the hardware store, pick up boric acid for under $2, and come home. On day 1, you apply a thin layer under the sink around the pipes, behind the refrigerator, behind the stove, and in the corners of your kitchen cabinets. The whole process takes about 10 minutes. On days 2 and 3, you might notice slightly more roach activity than usual. Do not be alarmed. This is the process working. They are moving through the treated areas and taking the powder back with them. By days 5 through 7, the numbers drop visibly. The roaches you do see may appear slow or disoriented. That is the boric acid working internally. On day 14, you do your second application on the exact same spots. 5 minutes, done. By day 21, the problem is gone. You spent under $2, you made 0 phone calls, and you do not need to do it again unless a new infestation begins from outside. So next time you see a cockroach, do not panic. Do not call anyone. Go to your nearest hardware store, ask for boric acid or borax powder, spend $2, follow the 5 steps I just walked you through, and give it a week. That is genuinely all it takes. This information is free, and pest companies would rather it stayed hidden. So share this video with someone who has been dealing with this problem, because the only reason this is not common knowledge is because there is no profit in making it common knowledge. If this helped you, hit that like button and subscribe. I post practical home solutions every week that save you real money on real problems. See you in the next one.